recent medical screening led General Hospital alum Rick Springfield, ex-Noah, to discover that he has brain damage from a bad fall he took off a concert stage in Las Vegas back in 2000. Explaining to People that he had a whole-body Prenuvo MRI health assessment done recently, Springfield noted that the scan's results indicated he suffered a brain injury during the tumble. "I fell 25 feet, hit my head, and then wood came down and hit my head, and then my head hit the stage again," the singer and actor recalled. "I thought I had just broken my wrist, but on the scan, I found out that I have some brain damage from the fall, so I'm working on trying to repair that." Detailing his lifestyle to the outlet, the 75-year-old Springfield noted that he stays healthy by abstaining from alcohol. He gave up drinking 2 years ago, exercises daily, and eats a largely pescatarian diet. The comprehensive Prenuvo screening can indicate medical conditions such as cancer and other diseases, giving people a proactive approach to their health, which Springfield said he appreciates since he's the opposite of the type of person who doesn't want to know what's wrong with them. Noting that his father passed away after putting off medical care, Springfield shared, "My dad died from not wanting to know. He thought he had stomach cancer for years and never got it checked out. When he finally collapsed at home one day, they found out it was an ulcer that burst, and he died from the loss of blood. It could have been fixed if he had gotten it checked out." His father's unfortunate passing was a giant message, Springfield added. "If you want to live long, you have to be prepared for some bad news now and then." The singer behind iconic 80s hits Jesse's Girl and Don't Talk to Strangers, Springfield is known to GH fans for his time in Port Charles as Emma's grandfather, Dr. Noah Drake, the role he first played from 1981 to 83. He reprised the role from 2005 to 7, when Noah reconnected with his estranged sons, Patrick and Matt. Springfield briefly returned for additional visits during the summer of 2009, in March 2012, and for the 2013 Nurses' Ball. He was also part of the soap's 60th anniversary primetime special in 2024. Love GH! Be sure to join our We Love General Hospital Facebook group to chat about all the latest storylines and juicy gossip. Rick Springfield never imagined his world would change with just one doctor's visit. For decades, the rock icon was the embodiment of energy, charisma, and raw musical power, a man who ruled stages, captivated audiences, and etched his legacy in the hearts of millions. But behind the glimmer of stage lights and the roar of adoring fans, something unsettling had been building, slowly and silently. Now, at 75, the Jesse's Girl singer is facing the most personal and frightening battle of his life: a diagnosis of brain damage. The news hit like a freight train. "It wasn't something I expected," Springfield said in a recent, deeply emotional interview. "I thought I was just tired, overworked, maybe stressed. But this was something different." Over the last few years, those closest to Rick began noticing subtle changes. He would forget song lyrics during rehearsals, lyrics he had sung thousands of times. He struggled to find words during interviews. He became quieter, more reserved, almost withdrawn at times. Friends dismissed it as normal aging, but deep down, something didn't sit right. "I'd be in the middle of telling a story and suddenly couldn't remember how it ended," Rick recalled. "That's not just age, that's something more." At first, Rick shrugged it off. After all, he'd battled demons before: depression, addiction, even suicidal thoughts. He believed he was strong enough to push through anything. But this time, the fog didn't lift. It was a routine checkup that led to the turning point. After discussing his persistent confusion, occasional dizziness, and memory loss, his physician ordered a series of neurological tests and scans. Days later, Rick received the results that would shake him to his core. "You have signs of mild traumatic brain injury," the doctor told him. "There's damage to areas responsible for memory and cognitive processing. This is something we need to take seriously." Rick sat frozen. "Brain damage? How? Why? When? I wasn't in a car crash. I didn't fall off a stage. I couldn't understand where this came from," he said. But then they started explaining how repeated small injuries over time, concussions I didn't even realize I had, could lead to this. As it turns out, Rick's years of high-energy performances, frequent headbanging onstage, and intense physical movement under hot lights may have taken more of a toll than he knew. Like many musicians, especially those in rock and metal circles, he had unknowingly placed strain on his brain for decades. Neurologists now believe that even subtle jolts, head shaking, and years of sensory overload can contribute to neurological wear and tear. In Rick's case, the damage is classified as mild traumatic brain injury, a condition often seen in athletes and soldiers, but rarely discussed in the context of rock stars. People don't think of music as dangerous, Rick said, his voice trailing off. But the body keeps score, even if you don't feel the pain right away. For Rick Springfield, this diagnosis is not just a medical condition, it's a spiritual and emotional reckoning. The brain damage has forced him to take a hard look at his life, his career, and his future. Some days, he wakes up not knowing where he left his guitar. Other days, the fog in his mind is so thick he has trouble writing lyrics. A devastating blow for a man who has always used songwriting to process his emotions. "The music's still in me," he said, eyes welling up. "But some days it feels like there's a wall between my thoughts and my fingers." Doctors are hopeful. With proper treatment, cognitive therapy, and lifestyle adjustments, Rick may be able to slow the progression and even regain some functionality. But there's no sugarcoating it. This isn't something that will go away overnight. Rick's diagnosis has sent ripples through the music world. Fellow artists, fans, and industry professionals have expressed their concern and admiration for his courage in going public. "It's brave of him," one longtime friend said. "A lot of people would have kept this private, but Rick is using his voice to raise awareness. That's who he is." Indeed, Rick is already planning to partner with neurological research organizations to shine a light on brain health for musicians, a topic that's long been overlooked. He hopes his story will inspire others to seek help early and listen to their bodies before it's too late. "This isn't just about me," Rick said. "There are so many performers out there pushing themselves beyond their limits. If my story can make just one person take a second look at their health, it's worth it." Even as he grapples with the weight of his diagnosis, Rick Springfield's spirit remains remarkably strong. He still plays music, albeit more gently now. He still writes songs, often weaving his struggles into hauntingly beautiful lyrics. And he still connects with fans, perhaps more deeply than ever. "I think people see a different side of me now," he reflected. "Not just the guy with the guitar and the big hair, but a human being, flawed, aging, still trying to figure it all out." Rick's wife, Barbara, has been a pillar of strength. "She's my anchor," he said. "She sees the days when I get frustrated, when I forget what I'm saying mid-sentence. But she never makes me feel small. She reminds me who I am." Though he's no longer planning grueling world tours, Rick hasn't retired. He's working on a new, deeply personal album inspired by his health journey. Tentatively titled Fog and Fire, it's described as a raw, stripped-down exploration of memory, vulnerability, and the fight to stay present. "It's not about perfection anymore," he said. "It's about honesty." Fans have already flooded social media with messages of support, urging Rick to keep going. Many have shared their own stories of cognitive decline or caring for loved ones with similar conditions.